Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. So, I was going through War Thunder in this new latest update. I came across this. I have a problem with this. It's not because it's a Sherman. It's not because it is. It's just mainly it. It's not because it's a Sherman. I don't have a problem with that because I know around the time of the 6-Day War, Israel had Super Shermans. They had M51s. I already know that stuff. That's why I'm not disappointed because of that. I am disappointed at War Thunder because we have one big problem with this. It's not the gun. It's not the machine gun. It's not any of these stats on this card. Nothing there. Well, mainly nothing there. Except one thing. Look at the BR there. At 6.0. Let me go to modifications and show you guys why I have this problem. So as you can see, I have the, because I've been doing some test driving here, so I have the OCC 105F1 equipped, which is the heat round. Here is my problem. If heat rounds can do 400 millimeters of pin at any distance, or do a minimum of 200 millimeters at any distance, there's a problem here. Because that's putting a Sherman that has such an overpowered tanks that have rounds that could barely even do half the penetration. A 6.0. That's my only issue. So we're going to go ahead and go in. Oh, I like the look of that T90 there. Alright. It is time to demonstrate the problem here. So, you know, all these tanks here, averagely we can kill all three of them. Well, I'm not going to worry about these. I'm going to look at that. One round. You see how I front pin a Panther? That's a problem. And I just killed the Panther. Now here's the real problem here. Let's look at that Tiger. See, I didn't have too good of a shot there, but it still pierced through the mantlet and broke the gun breech. Let's take another shot at it. That was a straight up undershot. We'll shoot right for that front plate there. Or not, hit the lower plate. But still, it pierces right through lower plate, breaks transmission, sets fire. There we go. Pierce the front plate. Then we're going to fire again. Well, that time it somehow hit a fuel tank. And that's done. Took way longer than killed than It took way longer to kill than intended. That shot straight up killed driver. Broke track. I pierced through the front of a Ferdinand. Ferdinand's done. Yeah, I'm gonna machine gun that. Also, I do kind of like how it has that whole freaking, like, it launches 4 smoke grenades, but that's not the point. Point is, this tank has too much power to be at its BR. I could see this thing having that much power if it was a 7.0. But I just can't see how it would be a 6.0 and still have the same amount of power. It doesn't make any sense at all. And what I say, because I've been playing this game for a long time, not as much as Fly, not as much as all the major YouTubers to this game, but what I say is, I would say raise the BR a little bit. Like, I'm not trying to tell Gaijin how to do their job or anything like that. I think they're good at what they do. It's just that I'm pretty sure a bunch of us in the gaming community are now starting to see that War Thunder is starting to become more of a corrupt game. Because if we literally have Shermans that can front pin a Panther at literally, like, this Sherman is literally lower than the Panther and it's still one-tapped it. This Sherman is lower than a freaking Tiger. It pins right through front plate, and then like the next shot I could kill a Tiger. Oh wait, I need to be more specific. To be more specific, a King Tiger at that. And War Thunder is, like, out of all the time I've played this game, I never thought I would have to make this video. But it's come to a point that the game has just become so corrupt. And a bunch of us in the War Thunder gaming community can agree with that. That it has become very corrupt. That, like, literally at this point, I feel that there's always just more bias to one country than there is another. Like, Gaijin a while back, they removed a few tanks from the game. Right. These tanks were the Tiger 105, the Panther 2, the P.R.O.B.L.E.M, or as called nowadays, the Flak Panzer 341, and the Mouse. The Mouse was said to be unbalanceable. Of course, there's times I agree with Gaijin about some things, and I do kind of love how Gaijin tries to keep up with military historical accuracy. But the Mouse, yes, it may have been unbalanceable, but it was a historically accurate vehicle that everyone in the game loved. Like, when Gaijin removed the Mouse, it broke the hearts of thousands, probably millions of players to this game. Broke thousands to millions of hearts. Because everyone downloaded this game to get. Like, the Mouse isn't unbalanceable. It still can be balanced. Just, Gaijin doesn't really want to work on balancing it, because if the Mouse was fully balanced, it would be historically accurate, you know? Which, they do have it historically accurate in terms of its stats, but not its penetration, so to say. And I bet they probably would have had APC-BC, but that's not the point. If Gaijin wants to continue having a good player base in War Thunder, then they will change a few things. One, they need to change the way that the matchmaking is. Like, what I mean is unified servers. So, and what I'm getting at here, like, I'm not saying fully unify the servers, no. What I'm meaning is, like, make it where the players can choose whether or not they want PC in their game lobbies, or Xbox. Right. Let the players choose that. Because I don't think there's at all any functions in the game that show or that say, hey, do you want to play against PC players? There's that. Another thing with matchmaking. Bring back the historical accuracy. Like, put the United States against Germany again. Don't put the United States with Germany. Don't, especially in the World War II era. Of course, yes, a little bit of a history lesson. There was a battle that the United States and Germany were allies at World War II, but that was around the end of the war. That was going to the end of the war. that event. But even then, that battle was still not considered World War II, mainly. Because practically, when the end of the war in Europe happened on May 7th, 1945, that's when they say World War II's over. Technically, it was over before it was said it was over. But the United States and Germany should not be allies. The British and the Germans should not be allies. Like, if it's World War II, Germany, Japan, and Italy need to be separated from the others. Unless some of the others were allied with them. I'm not saying change the way all the countries are. Don't change who's neutral and who's not. But try to make it more that the neutral countries are more towards the allied side. Because back in World War II, the neutral countries are in War Thunder now were barely on the Axis side. They still had a lot of resistance groups that assisted the Allies. And even then, some of the neutral countries were actually forced into allying with Germany and Italy and them. Some of them were forced. But like, bring back the historical accuracy to the game. Also, no more of these freaking time frame jumps between World War II and Cold War. Because if Gaijin's going to place Cold War and World War II games, for one, it throws off the overall vibe, and two, it also kind of ruins the game for everyone. Change it. There is so much stuff that War Thunder has done. Yes, they've done a lot of cool things. Right, they had all these cool events. But now the game has gotten bad. Like, there is so much wrong with this, and Gaijin really just needs to fix it. Otherwise, the way I see it, if Gaijin continues with this non-historical accuracy based, like what they literally were doing at the start of the game, where they made everything historically accurate. If everything was historically accurate, for one, it could make the game a lot more fun. And also, it can make it where no more bullcrap happens in the game. Like, I don't know how many times it has happened, but I've been playing in games where I could be using a panther and a freaking locust circles me and freaking kills me. For one, that's not historically accurate. The armor of the panther historically could have stopped a 37mm round from anywhere. Same with the tiger. Same with a Ferdinand. Same with a ton of other stuff. If the tanks were historically accurate, the game would be a lot more fun. Now, of course, there's another one of those things that I'm not saying that Gaijin needs to completely change their game. No. What I'm saying is that Gaijin needs to make it where light tanks don't pierce heavy tanks at all. Because it's not historically accurate in game. Also, like what just happened there. I literally shot that Panzer IV with a heat round. See, that's what should have happened in the first shot. Like, none of it makes sense. And so, they just need to fix their game in general. Because it's now getting bad. It's getting bad now. Like, Gaijin needs to fix the game to the point that, like, I'd say Gaijin needs to shut the servers down for a little bit. And they need to take some time to work on the game. Because what's happening here is that Gaijin's not getting enough time to work on the game. Like, there's a bunch of other game companies that they literally shut all their servers down for an entire day, sometimes even for like 3 to 4 days, just to work on the game. And Gaijin needs to do stuff like that if they plan to build their player base. Because let me tell you something. The player base used to be so huge in War Thunder. There used to be millions of players. Then Gaijin did all this stupid crap. Of, oh, we're going to take the mouse out. It's not historically accurate. Nor is it ever, nor is it balanceable. Here, that's myth. That's Gaijin myth. Okay? Here's the truth. The mouse was historically accurate, and just you're too lazy to frickin' balance it. There's a difference between doing something and not doing it. There's a big difference. Yeah, but upon all that, like, Gaijin needs to just shut the servers down for a few days just to work on the game, because it could help. It could help a lot. It won't just help Gaijin, it'll help the whole player base. Because it's like I said earlier in the video, I'm pretty sure everyone is getting tired of the non-historical accuracy. Like, there is so much that is missing in its accuracy. And honestly, what I'm going to say right now is, like, if I was the one running Gaijin right now, I would have already had the servers shut down for about 4 days just for Gaijin in general to work on fixing the game and balancing. Because balancing is time consuming. I already know that. It's time consuming. But sometimes time must be consumed to make a game better. But if you fail to put in the time to make the game better, you won't have a game at all. You'll just have this incomplete game that you can't do anything. And no one wants an incomplete game. So I hope that someone that sees this video feels the exact same way and spreads the word. This is where I say that as an entire game base, as an entire War Thunder player base, we need to expect more from our game developers. We need to expect more from them. Because they've had this game out for 9 years. 9! Can you believe that, guys? 9 years this game has been out. And what have they done to it? Nothing. All they added was just more overpowered crap. More crap that needs to be balanced. We need to do something about this player base. I'd say I would Operation Better Thunder. Because that's what needs to happen. You know, and yes, it is Gaijin's word against ours. But if we work together as a gaming community, we can make a change in War Thunder. We can make a change in everything else that's out there. The reason why games are mainly so bad, it's sometimes the developers, but also it's sometimes that the gaming community for the game is so afraid to speak out that the game developers won't do anything. A true game is made when there's communication between the gamer and the developer. Like, I haven't even been a developer for Gaijin, and I could tell you hundreds of things that need to be done to this game. But I'm not going to go through them all this video. This video is about making our game better. It's about making War Thunder the game it used to be, where it was historically accurate, where there was no Cold War in World War II. A game before Cold War was added. A game before helicopters. A game before everything. So all I ask is for those that see this video today or sometime later to speak out and help this, and I hope I probably had started a movement for this. But anyone that views this, please like and share this video, because we need to get the word out as a gaming community. We need to get word out to everyone that plays War Thunder and those that used to. We need to do something about our game. And it has to be now. Because I don't think anyone else can stand what Gaijin has done to the game. And as I said earlier, please like and share the video. Let's make our game better. And that is all.